Hi, my name is Hunter, and today I'm presenting the Jarvis phone assistant, brought to you by Giancarlos, German, Mike, and Hunter. Now, you probably get dozens of spam calls a day. I don't know anyone who doesn't. And we've got some ad blockers out there that can block some of them. But what they tend to do is also block important calls. So it may block out it tends to block out all of them, except when I get a doctor's appointment, for example, it missed that and it marked it as spam and it auto blocked it. If you're applying for interviews, you don't want it to block out recruiters. So what we did was we built an IVR that is interactive and can talk with the person calling you to identify what they're calling for, their name, the purpose, and then reach out to you and ask if you actually want to be connected with them. Um, this is a very interactive voice assistant. And the way it works is basically it asks you, it says, thank you for calling Jim. I'm his voice assistant. May I ask who's calling? It captures that response and it pulls out the name using some pretty advanced natural language understanding. And then if it's a robocall, it's not going to answer that question. So it's going to be filtered out. If it does say their name, then it's going to be prompted with the next question. It's going to say, what is the nature of this call? Then it's going to use natural language processing to try and identify what the meaning of the call is. If it's a salesperson, you don't want to deal with that. So what it's going to do is it's going to send it to voicemail, just in case you actually do want that person to call you later on, or maybe you actually did want that item, but most likely you did not. So you don't want to get a call right now. If it's a personal friend or professional, like a car mechanic or a recruiter, then you're going to want it to call you directly. But you might still be busy. So what it does is it actually then calls you. It puts them on hold. It calls you and asks if you're available for the call. If you are, then it'll connect the two phone calls, the two people. If you're not available, then what it's going to do is it's going to ask them to leave a message for you, and then it's going to record it like just as a normal voicemail would be. We try to make this the most interactive spam blocker as possible and really act like a interactive voice assistant. One of the features we plan on doing in the future, but we just did not have the time, is if it's a professional call, we actually do want to record meeting notes. So when someone calls you for a meeting to discuss, let's say, the project that you're working on, and there's some takeaways. Let's say you will need to go on and send an email to, reach out to some company afterwards. We want to pull that out and send that to you as a transcript, but really just summarizing the important bits. That's something we started thinking about and working on, but really we just ran out of time. We used Intelepeer to handle all of the calling workflow and process. It's an amazing tool. Love the drag and drop features. It's almost no coding involved. It was pretty awesome. And then we used apidaze and simwood. So if you receive a call, when it records the name, it actually sends off a text message to you saying that you received, oh, sorry. Let me take a step back. If someone calls you and you're using this service, what it does is the second it gets their name and it's not a robot, what it does is it takes that info and then sends it off in a text saying, hey, you received a call from, let's say James. James called you. So you received a call from James, just as a warning before you get the call. So that way, if you need to step out of a meeting, you have that preemptive warning. And now we're going to switch over to our demo.